Hey guys, how you doing? I hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. It's 150 degrees here, y'all. It's hot as hell. When I say hot as hell, it's no joke. I can't bring my dog out because the ground is so hot, it'll burn his feet. So I don't even know. So I probably have to carry him and put him into the grass. I don't know what to do. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna talk about this story about her name is Jayda Wood Johnson. She's 13 years old, and she was at the mall in Washington. And let's go to the computer, y'all. An Edmonds boy pleaded not guilty to murder Wednesday in a fatal shooting of a 13-year-old girl at the Alderwood Mall food court. They was in the food court. Now there's mad people up there sitting down. Y'all know how it is. Y'all go to the mall, be nothing but kids up there. They ain't doing nothing. They're up there chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, y'all. Samuel Gizor was charged in Washington County Supreme Court with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and juvenile in possession of firearm and killing of Jayda Wood Johnson. Prosecutors charged the 16-year-old boy as an adult. Under the law, minors are automatically charged as an adult if the crime they're accused of is very serious and violent offense, like murder. Washington County doesn't see many cases where this applies. Prosecutor Jason Cummins said Wednesday, they are not so rare that they never happen, but it's not like it happens every year, Cummins said. Ginsor was back in custody at the Denny's Juvenile Justice Center on Wednesday. At arraignment Wednesday afternoon, Judge Mary Beth set bail at $2 million. I still don't think that was enough because that was terrible what he did. You just anyway, Dave was up there fighting, and he just couldn't. He didn't want to fight back, so he pulled out a pow. Crazy. The courtroom was packed with the family and friends of Wood Johnson. Some was wearing shirts with her name printed on the back. Around 6 p.m. July 3rd, Gensor left the AMC movie theater at the mall. They do have that there. With his friends. According to the charge, he and his friends went into the mall. Surveillance footage reportedly shows. While there, 5 other teens confronted them. So he was coming up with his group, and then it's another group that wanted to start some trouble. Okay. According to the charges, Gensor got into a fight with them. Woods Johnson was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. An autopsy found she was shot in the back, according to the court papers. The bullet hit her in her right lung and heart. You see what I'm saying? When you go inside of a mall, it's open. It's an open area. So if you're standing up, I don't care how short or how tall you are, it's an open court. So basically, when you pulled out your pow, is basically gonna hit people up here in this area. Like here. Because remember, everybody just chilling, and they saying that she got shot in her back, and it hit her heart. That's crazy. Yeah, he gotta go down. I'm sorry. 16 and not 16. It's crazy. I don't know. These parents, I blame these parents. They're not watching their kids. This is crazy. Your son out there walking around with a gun, like for real. Your son walking around with a gun. Okay. Gensor he fled with a group of teens who picked him up, according to the court documents. The response to being punched was targeted and retaliated. Duty prosecutor Ellis wrote in the charges. Linwood police locked down the mall. Investigator posted a photo of the defendant on social media. See, see, asking for information on him. A Kemakek High School teacher and a school resource officer identified the boy as Gensor. The teacher identified him. He's 16. He still go to school. So you already know you was going down. You still go to school. At 8:23 p.m., over 2 hours after the shooting, the defendant's mother brought him to the police department at his request, according to the charges. Gensor didn't tell his parents what happened. Wait, hold on. You asked your parents to bring you to the police department. And you didn't tell them. Why? So your parents just was like, okay, let me take you to the police department. You're not going to tell me what's going on? You're not going to tell me? Okay. This is crazy. He didn't tell his parents. His parents should be locked up too. Okay. Gensor's father told police he wasn't sure how his son got access to a gun. Police had not found the weapon as of this week, the charges said. Police arrested Gensor and took him to the Downey Juvenile Justice Center. Later, he posted bail for $500,000 bond and was released. In the charges, request a judge issued a warrant to arrest the teen again. Yeah. At just 16 years old, during the early mornings, the defendant brought a loaded firearm to the crowded mall. After a single punch, the defendant severely escalated the situation by displaying a firearm with dozens of innocent and uninvolved individuals. That's true. Around them. So you got punched and you pull a gun. You don't know how to punch back? You can't punch back? That don't make no sense. You had to just, like they said, escalate it and pull out a weapon. A gun. Like, for real. Come on now, boy. So you can't fight. Even if you lose a fight, it don't mean nothing. You still can tell the story in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You lost a fight, you lost a fight. Like, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything because you lose a fight. At least you fought. It ain't like you backed up. You fought. And it's over with. Not these days. They said detectives later determined that feuds between Gensor and the other teens stemmed from a disrespectful comment Gensor made in a phone call about deceased individuals. Why this is keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. People, I don't know what the deal is with these kids, these young people. These damn, I'm gonna be real with y'all. These 2000 babies, I think something is wrong with them. The late 90s and 2000 kids, something is seriously wrong with them. Why would you want to talk trash about a person that is gone or been murdered. Why? Why would you do that? What's your problem? You think people is gonna have that? I just did a story yesterday. About the young lady. She bought a beauty salon store, and the same thing happened. You talk about the dead, and like they don't have family, and people take things a little different. You know what I'm saying? Some things just don't roll off people, and not these days either. But anyway, this is why he got punched in his face, because he wanted to talk about the dead. They said okay, here we go. Gensor made the phone call about a deceased individual associated with the 5 teens. A visual Sunday night at Mount Lake Terrace High School honored Wood Johnson. Her name is Jayda. Let's call her Jayda. Wood Johnson. I'm gonna call her Jayda. Jayda. I realize no one is promised safety anywhere. To always keep your guard up and to never take anything for granted. That's true. Classmate Macy Nearing said through tears Sunday. Always tell loved ones and friends you love them, no matter how mad you are at them. You are my beautiful, sweet angel, Jayda. Yeah, that's crazy, y'all. That's real crazy. These are her friends they had on. They representing her. They said, if you, okay, hold on. Let me show you something. This was them. Let's see if I can bring this up. Let me try to show you some pictures. I'm trying to show some pictures of her, y'all. Hold on. Let me show you a picture of Jayda. She a pretty little thing. Oh God, she's so pretty. Just like y'all. She pretty, right? She's a pretty little thing. She pretty. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. This is the young man. I want to show y'all the young man. Oh, this was the one the other day. This happened the other day. I seen it. I was going to do this story. I seen it. Got him clearly here. Clear. This was him right here that day. That day it happened. They had him just as clear. And let's see him in his orange jumpsuit. Now he may go to jail almost for the rest of his life. But y'all, that was the story of Jayda Wood Johnson. And I'm gonna let y'all see the video. And it's very touching. So I'm gonna go and let y'all see the video. Alright, y'all? Hit that like button and subscribe. But wait for the video.
Tribute to Jayda Woods Johnson tonight, a high school football field packed with family, friends, students, and community members united in grief and disbelief. The Linwood teen was killed in a shooting at the Alderwood Mall Wednesday. Good evening, I'm Michelle Esteban. Tonight was about honoring the memory of Jayda, just 13 years old. KOMO's Jackie Kent is live at Mount Lake Terrace High School where the candlelight vigil took place. Jackie, so many came to honor Jayda and to support her family.
Yeah, absolutely, Michelle. For a couple of hours, those who knew and loved Jayda poured their hearts out to share their fondest memories of her. It's one way they hope to help each other through the grief.
It almost doesn't seem real.
It's stamped on shirts and made known over the mic that Jayda Woods Johnson will be forever 13.
I know Jayda would be so happy right now to see how many people care about her.
In a packed football field for a vigil, friends, family, and Jayda's teacher.
She just lit up the classroom. She was kind.
All say she made a lasting impression on them before her life was cut short. Her aunt told us Jayda was walking out of the Alderwood Mall with a friend when she was struck by a bullet that police allege was fired by a 16-year-old boy. An altercation broke out between two groups before the gunfire, but police said Jayda was not connected to either of them.
And if it can happen to me and our daughter, it can happen to you and yours.
Jayda's mom, Tabitha Johnson, broke down while thanking those who shared fond memories.
She truly did love everybody.
Jayda's cousin Kelly Huffman says she considers Jayda like a younger sister, and she remembers spending Jayda's last weekend together.
You never knew what she was going to do or say next, but it would probably involve some type of dancing or screaming or laughing. She was always laughing.
She says Jayda was an aspiring actress, and it's no surprise that red was her favorite color to match her bold personality.
She was a very strong leader, even at her young age, in such a playful way.
It's during this unimaginable time of grief, Huffman says the loss brings what really matters to light.
Never lose sight of what's really important, especially if you get annoyed or upset at a kid for being a kid. Just enjoy them and their youth while you have it.
And we are still waiting on a police report detailing exactly what happened. Also, a charging decision is expected this week for the 16-year-old shooting suspect. Of course, we will keep you updated as the story develops. For now, live in Mount Lake Terrace, Jackie Kent, KOMO News.
Alan Preston, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about what happened inside the mall during that shooting. Today, I filed a motion with the Snohomish County Court asking a judge to unseal the police report about the 16-year-old suspect who is, for now, out of custody. At the Alderwood Mall, steps from where Jayda Woods Johnson was killed, there is now a memorial of flowers and candles. As friends, family, and the community honor Jayda, there are still concerns about the teen accused of killing her. That 16-year-old suspect is out of custody after his parents posted a $500,000 bail. We went to juvenile court and obtained this order where Judge Patrick Moriarty found there was probable cause for charges of murder and assault and called the teen a threat to community safety.
People in the community have a legitimate concern here.
Attorney Mark Lindquist is a former prosecutor and not involved in this case. He says he was surprised the bail wasn't higher.
When the charge is murder and the judge finds the defendant is a threat to the community, I would expect bail to be significantly higher than $500,000.
Police said Jayda Woods Johnson was an innocent bystander, and the shooter was among a group of juveniles who got into a fight in the mall's food court. Police say he pulled out a gun and fired, and the round struck Jayda. The shooting happened in the mall where there are likely surveillance cameras, which could be critical to the investigation. Police may have a tough time questioning the juveniles involved in the fight because of a state law forbidding investigators from questioning juveniles outside the presence of a lawyer.
Typically, once a juvenile witness consults with a lawyer, they are highly unlikely to talk to law enforcement, even if they have nothing to hide.
Now, police have said they have not found the gun that was involved in the shooting. As for the release order, I can confirm today that the suspect is allowed to leave his house as long as he's accompanied by his parents. Jayda's parents, the victim, say they are disgusted that he was allowed to be released from jail on that bail, and prosecutors tell me today they could file charges as early as tomorrow in this case. Certainly still more to come. Reporting live in Linwood, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.
The teen accused of killing 13-year-old Jayda Woods Johnson during a shooting at the Alderwood Mall last week could soon learn the charges he'll face. The 16-year-old was booked on suspicion of murder, but bailed out of custody less than a day later. I talked with Jeremy Harris tonight about what's next in this case. Well, Jeremy, thanks for joining us again here on ARC Seattle tonight. So what is the latest in this investigation?
Well, right now, the next step's going to be whether or not the prosecutors file charges, and we've been pushing them on today, and they told us that they could be filing charges against the 16-year-old suspect as early as tomorrow. For now, we know he is out of custody, when we came up here to Snohomish County today to try and get more information about how he was released from custody. That's one of the biggest questions I've seen about this case in our reporting is why was a 16-year-old murder suspect allowed to bail out of jail? We now know that he was given a bail of $500,000. That was posted by his family, and he was released from custody. He is on house arrest, but he can go pretty much anywhere except for the Alderwood Mall as long as he's in the company of his parents.
I could see.
So we talked about this last week, and at that point in time, we were still questioning, as this was very fresh, as to whether or not he could hang out with his friends or anything like that. But it sounds like now he can leave the house as long as his parents are with him. Is that right?
That's what the release conditions say in the report that we obtained today. The judge, that's sort of when a juvenile is booked into custody, they can go before a judge and say, "Listen, I want to have bail. I want to be released." And in that, a judge can weigh a variety of factors and set conditions of release, so that if you do post bail, here are the conditions that you have to abide by. And so that is what the judge, that's the order that we got today from the judge, is was setting those release conditions.
As far as the next steps in this case, what are we looking at here? Do we know when he'll be back in court potentially, or do we know, when there's going to be a full write-up of the charges that they're potentially going to present?
Well, there is a police report out there, Preston, because in order to be booked into jail, there has to be what's called a probable cause affidavit, essentially the police justifying why they are putting somebody into custody. So we know there is a police report that would likely explain sort of what the police know, why they believe this teen committed this crime, and I would expect that to say something along the lines of he's on video doing it. We have video from the mall showing him do it, but we don't have access to that, and that's because it's juvenile court, and the rules are a little different in juvenile court. Oftentimes you can't get until the charges are filed. This afternoon, I went to the court here in Snohomish County, filed a motion to have a judge unseal that. That looks like it's going to end up having to go before a hearing where the judge may or may not unseal that. But for right now, we don't really know too much about the police investigation other than what they said very early on, which is that there was a fight between two groups of juveniles. One of those juveniles, the 16-year-old suspect, pulled out a gun, fired, and that round hit Jayda Woods Johnson, who was just an innocent, uninvolved bystander. I did learn a little bit more today, Preston, about exactly what she was doing at the mall. We understand that she may have just been to a boba shop with a friend. They had just gotten some tea, and she was just standing there. And according to police, she was just wrong place, wrong time, and she was an innocent bystander to the shooting.
Going back quickly here, Jeremy, to the bail amount that was set, I think after we learned that this suspect bailed out with that $500,000 bail amount set, we were shocked. And then I know the entire community has been shocked. Now, I've seen so many write-ups on social media, like Nextdoor and different community forums, where people are just kind of just taken aback by the fact that this kid was able to not only bail out, but the bail was set where it was. And like we said last week, this is unusual, and others and other experts, former attorneys, et cetera, former defense attorneys and other people also find this unusual, that the bail was set at such a low amount.
Well, you're right. And, when we talked to Mark Lindquist, who's a former Pierce County prosecuting attorney, he said that he was surprised that it would be a $500,000. He said in a murder case, he would expect to see something that's seven figures, so $1 million and up. But, the judge is going to look at things like, does this person have to what are the circumstances of the case? And those are the things he's determining what bail is going to be set. Now, the prosecutors do have an option. They can go back to the judge and say, we would like you to reconsider what you set the bail at. The prosecutors can say, well, there's new information, something you didn't consider when you set the original bail. And in that, they could potentially get the bail increased, and they would also have to bring that child back in front of the judge and have a hearing. So we may see tomorrow, if the charges are filed by the prosecutor, we may see them file a motion that says, hey, we want a higher bail here. We don't like this $500,000 amount. It needs to be higher. And potentially, the juvenile could be taken back into custody pending the trial. Then it would be essentially a higher burden for his family to come back and post that bail again. But you're right. There's been a lot of questions from the community about why, for essentially $50,000 cash, you can get a bond and pay that $500,000 bill and have this kid walking out of jail less than 24 hours after he's accused of shooting and killing a 13-year-old girl at the mall.
I wanted to ask this, Jeremy. I'm not sure if you know the answer to this question or not, but we know the mother brought her son in, the suspect, to essentially turn himself in. But do we know if that suspect ever admitted to the crime or anything like that, or was just basically dragged there by his mom saying, hey, you need to turn yourself in? Do we even know if he wanted to at this point?
Well, and you are asking the right question there, Preston, and that's why we hope to get a copy of the police report where they would presumably explain some of that as well. For now, that's all under seal. But here's something to consider about this, Preston. The Washington State Code, state statute that was recently changed, says that police cannot question juveniles outside the presence of an attorney. If they are, even if they're not even suspected of committing a crime, they have to contact a lawyer and have them present on the phone and say, what do you want to tell this client? Now, what do you think a lawyer is going to tell a juvenile if they've potentially been involved in a fight in the mall? They're going to tell them, don't talk to the cops. They're going to say, do not talk to the police. So it's probably, now we don't know this for a fact in this case, but we do know this in general. It has become extremely difficult for law enforcement to question juveniles. Because the instinct would be, if you're there, you run in, you're the responding officer, you start getting that scene locked down, what are you going to do? Start grabbing people. What did you see? Fill out a statement. Tell me what you saw. They cannot do that without contacting a lawyer for that individual juvenile first. And we don't know this in this case, but it would not surprise me if the police contacted lawyers for the juveniles who were involved in that fight, and those juveniles were told, do not speak to the police.
Incredibly difficult to put together a crime scene scenario and get it solved. I mean, I can't even imagine how much time it actually takes to put these together, if they even do get put together sometimes, because how difficult it is to interview these different juveniles.